Guys, I don't even know where to start. I have absolutely no words to describe what I just saw in that game. All I can say is, this was a joke. That was a flat out joke. It was just pathetic, embarrassing, disgusting, disgraceful, and humiliating. There is a lot that I can describe watching this game play out at MetLife Stadium. But all in all, that game was awful. Because both teams played pathetic. But either way, one team had to settle for the win, and that's what I get. The Commanders played like trash. Now, I'm not saying this to briefly describe how the team played, because the defense played a little bit better today, to be honest with you. Only giving up 14 points, but that offense did not help them at all. The offense did not help them out at all. But not everybody on the offense deserves blame, because Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin, John Dotson, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson, those are your playmakers that can make stuff happen. But the one thing that eggs me on right here is the O-line. They cannot protect Sam Howell for his life. And today, they keep piling up the amount of sacks he's taken this season. Coming into the game, he is the most sacked quarterback in the league. He sacked a total of 34 times heading into this game against the New York Giants. Today, they give up 6 sacks for a loss of 52 yards. And just like that, Sam Howell's now sacked 40 times this year. And to make matters worse, you put up 7 points the entire game against your divisional rival. Like, I'm not even angry. I'm just flat out disappointed. I'm embarrassed to see this team fail in misery. The defense gave everything they had, but they gave up so many big plays at the end because the offense did not help them out at all. I mean, it's just so hard to put everybody at that defense accountable for, because the offense is just not helping them out at all. O-line can't block. Sam Howell trying to find somewhere to escape, but he can't do it. He's just taking sack after sack after sack after sack. And the Giants defense was just making his life miserable because there's no protection, nowhere to escape from the pocket, and obviously the secondary was holding down Terry McLaurin and John Dotson and Logan Thomas to the point where Sam Howell's got nowhere to throw. He had no time to throw. He did not have the time to scan the field, downfield, and was just running for his life. And he was throwing under pressure for most of this game. In a game where you could have had a game where you were favored against one of the worst teams in the league, you play like that? That is flat out embarrassing. And it's just so frustrating to watch this, because I know this team is talented and capable of winning football games. But there's also another thing that stands in the way of this team winning football games. The coaching staff. This coaching staff didn't do anything at all to win this game besides Ron Rivera, as you guys might have saw, argue with the refs on an intentional grounding play that could have gone either way. But the defense stuck with their same old game plan throughout the majority of this game. Offense continue to run plays that they choose to run, but the O-line can't block. What are you supposed to do with that? But I think the coaching staff deserves the most blame for this loss because they did not make any adjustments. They did not do anything to hype up the guys to go out there and win this game. They just stood there and watched it all happen and argue with the refs all day on questionable calls. There's just literally nothing I can do to change at this point. And now, the Commanders drop yet another embarrassing loss. They're now 3-4. Heading next week, home next week against the Eagles. In all honesty, they're going to cook us at FedEx Field. And the Philly fan base is going to have it their own way. And they're going to have themselves a party out there in the stands at FedEx Field next week. The Eagles are going to blow us out next week. I just sense it. I can see it. But the way that this team played today, in embarrassing fashion, how am I supposed to see this team respond against that Philadelphia Eagles team that we played in Week 4, we put up a fight, but how are we supposed to go in this game with low morale, low on energy, and the team as a whole has been terrible against the New York Giants? I've seen some bad losses this year, but the two embarrassing losses that were most painful for me to watch was that Chicago game at home, and obviously this game now against the New York Giants. I mean, Commanders, you guys play with no heart or passion at all. And you guys were just low on energy offensively. The defense was just giving everything they have just to see this offense in shambles. I just don't know what to say at all. The first points that you put up, there was a fumble right in the Giants' red zone. You got the ball back, and then you score a touchdown. That's the only positive thing that you've done today. But other than that, when you had time to score, you play like trash, and you failed to convert in the red zone to score. And of course, that play at the end, Dotson, you dropped the first down pass. No reason to do that. You should have given us the first down to give us a shot at least tying the game. And obviously, I don't care about that situation at the end where the Giants could have punted the ball with under a minute to go. But because of a lineman getting hurt for the Commanders, by Roy, blended the clock down. Commanders had no way to stop the clock. And the Giants walk out with a victory. There's just nothing I can do to change this situation at this point, but Ron Rivera's job is on the line. As well as Jack Del Rio, because their defense is still giving up big plays in the secondary. I'm calling for these two guys. I'm calling out their heads. If they don't get it together, I want those two guys packing their bags and leaving Washington. Eric Bieniemy can choose to stay because it's his first time here. He's trying to run a whole new system. But Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, if you don't get your act together right here, you guys need to go. But the way that you run this team, it's not going to work. Your philosophy's not there. And honestly, you guys need to go if you can't fix anything at all. And honestly, next week, you guys are going to get smacked down by the Eagles. They're going to put up like over 30 points on your heads again in the most painful way possible. Today's game was awful. It was dirty. It was embarrassing. No level of urgency involved. No level of competitiveness involved. Zero heart, zero passion involved. And just full, flat-out misery on display. That's Commanders Giants football right here. Period. In a low-scoring game where both teams offensively had a terrible game. But at the end of the day, one defense played better, one defense looked gas, one offense stood out to look bad but still put up 2 touchdowns, and obviously the other offense playing like flat-out garbage because the O-line can't block. Sam Howell had a lot of difficulties giving it to his guys downfield. Run game couldn't get anything going. And you're letting your quarterback get sacked 6 times. That's just sad to see. Embarrassing. I got nothing left. I'm out of here. I'm going to cut this off right here. With that being said, that's all I got. We'll see what happens next week against the Eagles. That's all I got to say, guys. That's all I got to say.